We're back with another episode of the Halftime with K Bizzy podcast. I'm very excited to bring today's guest back on the podcast because the first time we had him on was literally the first few episodes. I think it was number 3 or 4. I'd have to double check. But we got Drepz joining us again. And I know you guys have probably been seeing Drepz on Twitter. He's been making his return. It seems like he's back. He is buying some skins again. You know, a lot happens in a couple years. And, I just figured we'd, catch up with Drepz and see what he's been up to. It's really cool episode today. It's good talking to him, man. I love Drepz, man. We played from time to time. It's awesome, dude. Got nothing but utmost respect for him. If you guys enjoyed today's podcast and you're new to the channel, don't forget to like the podcast down below. Comment, let me know what you think of the episode, if I can improve anywhere, if you think I'm lacking somewhere that I could, kind of improve. I'd love to hear that type of stuff. I want to make this podcast as good as possible for the community. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe. But without further ado, we're going to tap in with Drepz, and we'll catch you guys on the outro. Hey, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you doing, bro? It's been a fucking minute.
No, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Been seeing you on Twitter again. It's been nice, man. We missed you.
Thank you, man. I'm so sorry for doing this now rather than later. I have a crazy day.
No, literally,
But
no worries, man. It's all good.
appreciate it, man.
For sure. Yeah, dude, like the last time we had you on was on episode 3, and I don't know off the top of my head which this is going to be the first episode of 2026. Obviously, we're recording this in December of 2025, but
Yeah,
we're over 70 episodes now, so it's been quite a while. It's pretty good to have you back on, man.
shit. You got a lot of people. I think we did ours in 2024, early 2024. So no, it's fucking cool, man. You talked to so many people already.
Yeah, and my favorite part about it all is to just have like, guests from early on come back, and like so much happens over hell, even just 6 months, let alone 2 years, pretty much. So yeah,
For
it's
sure.
crazy.
No, man, it's amazing where you're at right now, and hopefully keeps on going. Gaben, maybe.
Maybe one day. I try to get them.
Yeah, for sure.
I got the April Fool's episode out, and ironically, that was one of the most, like, people watched the whole video for that one, and given it was only a couple minutes, but thought that was pretty funny that popped up on my Spotify Wrapped for the podcast. So, like we were just saying, we had you back on for the first time, back on episode 3, and a lot's changed. And, we were also talking about you making a return to Twitter and stuff like that. And, people are definitely excited about that. So tell me, since the last time I know we've been playing games from time to time and stuff like that, but like in general, like overall, how's life been in the past couple of years for you since we last talked?
Yeah, things are better, of course. When you take a break from social media or just, a little bit away from computer, you focus on other things, life, work, relationships, and everything else. But no, everything has been well, and I think it's a good thing to take a break, but it's also good to come back slowly, not as intense as before. I think when people trade or on Twitter and everything, it takes a lot of time and energy that we just forget about the things. Definitely for me at least. But no, it's good to find a balance, and hopefully I can make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. And, especially in the Counter-Strike community, I mean, to have a break is something that I think it's pretty smart to do that from time to time, because
Mm,
sometimes it's just too much.
yeah, for sure. And I feel like with traders as well, you're always looking out to do deals or always chasing to get profit, or you have so many deals lined up that for the next 2 weeks you know exactly what's gonna happen or who you're gonna trade with. That sometimes, yeah, it can get pretty intense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I know when we last talked, correct me if I'm wrong, you were more into the collecting side of things, and I don't think that you were trading too much and buying and selling,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, you're
Um,
right. I think oh,
oh,
sorry to cut you off
no,
there,
you're good, you're good.
but I want to say, yeah, like I think I'm in a mix between buying and selling and collecting. I think I do collect sometimes, and sometimes you buy and sell whenever the finances are there. But I'll definitely plan to go back to buying and selling. That's definitely my favorite part.
Okay, awesome. I was gonna ask you about that in a little bit. For the people that maybe didn't catch the first episode we had you on, or maybe people that don't somehow know about you already for some reason, Can you kind of just talk a little bit about how you started your buying and selling and trading journey, and how you ended up building such a reputation for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I traded since I believe 2016, 2017, back when there were community servers, there were trade servers, and you would go on trade servers, advertise your skins, and you would trade with keys. So CS:GO keys were the currency back then for traders, having a thousand max inventory space as well. So there was no storage unit; it was just keys. Steam analyst as well was a big part of it, and that started off the trading aspect, and I guess buying and selling came a little bit after, around 2018, 2020, where you would start buying skins for money, PayPal, crypto, bank transfer. And ultimately, you trade up and you keep on going. You find some deals. You get into different markets, Kato market, blue jams, and other unique items such as floats. And through there, yeah, build up a good inventory, screenshot full of items of the best items I've owned in the past. But yeah, other people might know me as the guy who bought the Katos or the Howls. But no, I've done a lot more since then. And yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Well, I remember when we had Zipple on a while ago too. He was talking about how he would go through the Facebook groups, like there'd be Counter Strike Facebook groups for trading skins and stuff like that. And it kind of just
Mm.
really put it into perspective on. I mean, we all know trading's big now, but even back then, like trading was. I mean, once you put a dollar amount that you can actually withdraw on skins, like it kind of just spread like wildfire on the whole internet, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook. Like it's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it's crazy how it goes from one or two subreddits and Facebook groups, as you mentioned. Those Facebook groups were very country targeted. So you had Norway, Denmark, Europe, and those were very unique in its own way because everyone had different kind of payment methods in different countries. So sometimes I think in Sweden they use Swiss um, as a payment type or something like that, and only people from that country would do deals like that. So it was very region locked as well for some people who just want to sell for cash.
I think about it sometimes. I don't know if Valve ever really kind of expect, like, obviously they knew this is going to be a big thing. Like I don't think there was really any other game other than maybe like Dota or Team Fortress 2, which are also Valve titles, of course. I don't think any
Hmm.
other game from any other devs had like skins you could buy and withdraw and put it to your bank account some way somehow. So I don't think they ever really realized that this would get as big as it would, and then Counter Strike 2 obviously just inflated that big time.
I think the only thing I can compare it to, or what happened before, was RuneScape. So people would have, sell gold on RuneScape, and there would be marketplaces, and people would sell and buy it locally. And then that for me was like, that's the first time I can remember an actual ecosystem on a game that people love and still play. And of course, that's its own thing, but that's why I see Counter Strike as kind of how it started.
It's crazy, and you don't really see many other games like doing that. I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of controversy with Counter Strike skins, as we all know. But I think that might be like, I don't know, maybe some type of red flag to other developers. And a game like Call of Duty, imagine how much money they could make if you could buy, sell, and trade skins and stuff like that. But it's the whole controversy surrounding it. Like it's a very I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you push out an update and it could completely fucking change things, like the covert trade up update.
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right. And I think, now of course companies know that people thrive on marketplaces and the ecosystem that they create, and they're a bit more careful with updates, especially with Valve. Same with how they did things, especially the trading up knives to or trading up covert skins to a knife. So they definitely know what they're doing and know what's happening.
Yeah, and it might seem like to us as the casual, just the people that play the game and don't really know about nobody knows about Valve and what they do behind closed doors, but to us it's just like, what the hell, they just ruined the game. And then, in a week or two it's just like, oh, okay, everything's fine.
Yeah, the one thing that's guaranteed is that people will always just do skins. Even if something goes left or right, people will still trade skins, have skins, want skins. and there will always be newer skins and people who are nostalgic about old skins. It's just a system and a cycle that everyone keeps going through. But no, I don't think people will just, turn off the game and get away from skins.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
definitely a big part of it. Yeah, I mean the game is fun as well. That I think that's very important as well. If the game wasn't fun, why would you buy skins or enjoy it? Or if the game wasn't fun, why would you even play it?
Exactly. And I feel like it's at a point now where it's just like people forget Counter Strike. Like, remember when we all started, every single person can relate to this. When you started playing Counter Strike, you played it because you liked it. You played Counter Strike for Counter Strike, and the skins were
Mm.
secondary. Now I feel like it's just backwards now for a lot of people.
Yeah, you see people come into Counter-Strike just to trade skins and then kind of play the game. But no, I know exactly what you mean. And I'll be real, I started off trading skins, but also playing at the same time a lot. I remember playing trying to get Global Elite, and that took me a long time. And going through the ranks from Silver to Nova to Master Guardian and everything else.
Yeah, it's really a grind. I just hope that people don't forget Counter Strike is like actually just it has its problems like anything does, but the game itself, like the concept, the core game is just fucking badass. It's just amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely not a game like Counter-Strike. I think maybe Call of Duty to put in a retrospect, how people keep buying it, keep playing it. You have FIFA as well, another game that people just keep playing every year. And no, I think Counter Strike is definitely here to kind of stay. It's just how they evolve and what changes they make. We'll see what happens.
Yep, we'll see, we'll see. And for 2025, we've experienced some pretty massive changes to trading, which I've been really excited to pick your brain about this because you were such a big trader back in the day, and it sounds like you're maybe ready to get back into it. Which could be kind of a dicey situation. We've got the trade reversals have been getting just
Mm,
abused so heavily. The 7-day trade protection system, and we've also seen a lot of market manipulation, like with Stockholm stickers, the EGs, the Renegade Hollows, and of course the 5 coverts for a knife trade up or gloves. And on behalf of Valve, like you could say that these are all strategic moves, and kind of like what I was saying a little earlier, it doesn't really make sense to us, and it makes sense to want to assume the worst, like that you just killed the game, GG. But
mm,
like these people, you can look it up. They actually have Valve has uh like a psychologist. I forget the exact term, but it's a type of psychologist that works with them. So like every move they make is like very, very thought out. And
mm.
I don't know. I think of traders, and especially with the trade reversal thing. I mean, when that came out, it was just horrible. But like going forward, like what do you think's gonna happen with trading? And did you ever see a day that this stuff like what we had happen this year would ever come about?
I definitely never thought all these changes were possible or even put into perspective. For example, the trade reversals, as simple as it sounds. In my opinion, it's actually a good update. So many people get scammed, so many people do X, Y, and Z, and it could be good just to have a trade reversal just for an extra protection. Of course, in the mind of traders or buyers and sellers, yeah, it's problematic. It's an extra step of waiting 7 days or sending money first and risking waiting 7 days. But I think for the casual player and all of CS, good update. For the traders, in my opinion, it just becomes an extra step of okay, something could go wrong. The deal could be fine. Last minute, someone does a reversal and has the money already, or maybe you have an agreement about something else. Is one of those things. But I think it's an overall good update. I think the covert update, trading coverts to a knife, I did not expect that. Um,
Yeah.
I thought it was insane.
It's like, am I
I thought it was
reading this right
insanely
now?
smart. Yeah, I genuinely thought it was insanely smart. The fact that there are so many covert skins no one pays attention to, and now you have the possibility to put them in the knife. Uh, The way the market reacted to it was, of course, everything went up, and it still will continue to go up because now there are so many knives and gloves available, and there are so many covert skins. So anyone can kind of do it, and with the right time and patience, you can just build up to it and trade to it or not do much for it and a little bit of luck as well. You can get ruby, sapphire, emerald, wherever you can.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things. It's it's possible, and no, it's an insane update, and I think it helps the market in a positive way. It kind of gives it a boost. Same with the I believe it was the charm or the little patch thing where you put the sticker and
Oh,
you
the
can
sticker
kind of
slab.
display it. Yeah, yeah. For me, I was joking around with friends. I said that looks like those PSA gradings. How you
Yeah.
can send a yeah, you can send a sticker in a Pokemon card for PSA. You're waiting to get PSA 10. So to me, that's kind of what it remind me of. But it's another way of showcasing, stickers and charms that might not be used all the time. And I think it's a smart update. They're definitely doing smart things.
Yeah,
It's
and
very creative. Yeah.
very creative. And as much of a shock as it was, especially with the covert situation with trading up to a knife or gloves, it was a shock. Like, I mean, the whole Twitter all night long, like I think it was even for a couple days, to be honest, people were just like, this is fucked, like we're done. And when you think about it, like you got like an MP9 Starlight protector. It was, maybe not the coolest, like, whoa, this, I need one of those, but the artwork was actually good, I think. And the
Mm.
skin was worth like a couple bucks, like it wasn't expensive. The FAMAS Bad Trip too, really, really dope, but just who cares because it's a FAMAS, people don't want it. Now, those are actually worth something. So I think, especially for the people that created them, I mean, they've got to be pretty excited. They're what's looked at as a piece of shit covert is now worth, way more and is like a sought after item now.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of all those YouTube videos I used to watch when I first started trading. It would be the cheapest covert loadout possible, and I would just do it for fun, just to be like, "Hey, I got a red for every single slot." But now it's doing that you can't do that anymore unless you spend what 2 grand or something.
Yeah, and people were pretty skeptical about Valve. Like, obviously, they're the ones making these updates and they know what they're doing. So I'm pretty sure there was something about this was all skeptical. They were ready for this update and they had a bunch of coverts that they were like putting on the market or something, and then they released the update and then made a bag off of that. I don't know how true that is, but I mean that's pretty crazy just to think about.
I mean, honestly, it could be possible. You never know. I think all kind of shady back things could happen. Even people, who are banned from those gambling bans from buying from gambling websites, they could get unbanned and they could contact a Steam support and give them money. Like there's so many ways that it can go on, and I feel like it's always open to opportunities for people. I don't think Valve is as clean as is possible. I think some people, all those speculations, they could be possible. It's not something to be ruled out.
For sure. I mean, I would love to know the rule on that. Like, are is Valve staff, obviously they have money, everybody knows this. Are they allowed to just go buy up a shit ton of coverts, cook an update where you could trade up the coverts to a knife or gloves, and then sell them all before the update comes out? Or as the update comes out, then just make a fortune off of that? Like, surely, right? What?
Yeah, I think maybe people do it on the sly, maybe they know about the update and then they do it.
Funny as hell to think about. Like with especially with the trade reversal thing, like I feel like it's a good, it's a good system to have. And I mean, we all know people hacking accounts and getting scammed and stuff has been, it feels like forever at this point it's been happening. But I feel like they could alter the trade reversal thing and add like a little barrier in it so that it couldn't be as easy to kind of, if I go to sell something and the trade goes through, and let's say on CS float my money's pending for 8 days or whatever, and
Mhm.
overnight it goes up, $500 or something, and I trade reverse, it screws over the guy that bought it, and
Yeah.
I feel like they could just alter something to make that a little bit better. So, like with that being said, do you think with the trade reversal situation and just with everything that we've seen to the market this year, well, I guess last year at the time of uploading this, do you think people should like? Would you recommend people get involved in trading, or should they not really?
I think people should always want to do what they want to try. So, for example, if you want to try trading to make a profit, go ahead. There's definitely profit to be made. If you want to do it to collect, love it. Yeah, there's lots of collectors. We need more of them. But in terms of recommending someone to trade, I wouldn't say it's the best investment opportunity market at the moment, or even at all. It takes a lot of grind, a lot of time. But if you want a way to make friends, build a network, and make profit at the same time, of course, there's definitely a lot of steps, like you mentioned, the trade reversals. But if it's possible and you enjoy it, why not? The world could definitely do more with better traders, better buyers, better sellers, and more competition is healthy for everyone.
Okay, okay. And one thing I wanted to ask you too, um, I don't know maybe if you just have them stored away on another account or what, but I was when I was researching and doing well, not really researching, but when I was coming up with the questions to ask you today, I noticed your inventory was missing a lot of Kato 14s. Did you get rid of those, or are they just kind of hidden away somewhere?
They're at the moment hidden away. I still have
No.
them, but
Okay.
I think if I do start buying and selling, I want to do it, from fresh, from scratch, and kind of build my way up again. But no, I have them hidden somewhere, not on my account, so I feel perfectly fine and safe. Just the extra
Okay.
measure of security.
For sure, because I saw your inventory. I'm like, oh, well, this is a good question to ask him. And I went to your profile. I'm like, oh my god, he sold them all. It's done.
But the market is looking good, so who knows if the right offer comes around. But with all these updates, it definitely makes it more appealing.
For sure, for sure. And another thing I wanted to ask you too was like, we saw with Hawkeye on Twitter that horrible thing that happened to him where someone got access to his account and applied a bunch of Kato hollows to that Negev, that default Negev, I think it was. You saw that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did so. It was very unfortunate. I did message him, everything was okay. I'm glad it got fixed, but I wanted really to know how it happened.
Yeah.
And he reassured me that it wasn't anything to do with, Steam Authenticator. He has it activated, he has everything, fully secure, and I 100% believe that. I don't believe that he will just keep an item or a whole collection of his and house and everything else and not have the proper security measures. I just think whatever happened happened. It could have been a SIM swap potentially. I know in America that's very popular and things like that isn't the first time I've heard of it. But no, I'm very thankful and seeing his account back. Very thankful that it got fixed as soon as possible. That for me is the most important thing.
For sure. And I mean, Valve, we all know, if you get scammed, especially back in the day, if you get scammed, GG, Valve doesn't give a shit. You should have been smarter, is how they looked at it. But he actually, like, Valve stepped in and actually reverted all of that, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, they definitely did a good one and they did it as quick as possible and I'm happy and hopefully something like this doesn't happen again. I don't think it will, because he has the proper, security measures. I think it was just a SIM swap, and it was very unfortunate it happened to him.
Yeah, for sure. And, with that being said, do you think that, like, sometimes I think about it too. Like, I don't have a lot of money in Counter Strike compared to a lot of people, especially, like, traders and whatnot. But it kind of just like, especially that right there along with the trade reversals and especially the covert update, it kind of made me think like maybe I shouldn't really hit over X amount of dollars in my inventory because you just never know what's going to happen. Like, it's kind of like the saying, don't gamble with money that you can't afford to lose type of thing.
Mm.
um so like what do you think for people, like Hawkeye is a great example. I'm sure, I don't know him, I've never talked to him, but I'm sure he's doing well for himself in the real world. But at the end of the day, that would have been a lot of money to lose. Do you think that maybe it would be smart for people going forward in the future of trading and stuff to, you know when you hit X amount of dollars in your inventory, pull some of it out so that if for some reason you get scammed or something happens, you can at least say that you took a little bit with you rather than losing it all?
I get what you mean. I think it's very smart to take out profits and enjoy them and not keep everything, all eggs in your basket in CS. But at the same time, every time I think about, oh, trading might die or might get less active or anything, any update could happen where it could, disturb the market, something else happens in opposite. So it's one of those things that you just can't predict. But I always say, if you make a good amount of profit, take some of it out, keep it in your bank, buy some gifts, treat yourself to a new computer. because that way you have something, you know, in front of you and usable rather than just numbers on a screen
Yeah.
and just kind of pixels. Yeah, if you actually have something, or if you cash out and buy a motorcycle, that to me is a lot more smarter, and you know, you can actually use it. And what would you lose? Perhaps a howl? That's not that bad, you know? It's a good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've been definitely kind of hesitant with trading and stuff like that ever since the covert update and the trade reversal. It's kind of just I was never a serious investor, like a serious trader or anything, but it kind of just put a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm just like, I don't know if I really want to keep doing this because you literally just don't know what to expect. Like you really don't. So when I looked at how much my inventory was worth, and I'm like, if that was all gone tomorrow, like I'd be pretty fucking upset over that. So I feel like it's important for people to sometimes take a step back because it's so easy to just look down the tunnel and just have tunnel vision on, oh, this skin's
Mm.
cool, oh, I can make money off this. But I think it's really important that people take a step back and sometimes just go, you know what, maybe I don't need this skin, maybe I don't need these 5 knives, and I could actually benefit from that in the real world. So maybe I should take some of this out and just play with what's left.
No, you're absolutely right. I think people sometimes just need to have that mindset or kind of that break or something where they're just like, hey, let me actually prioritize my real life. Let me get something. Let me fix something, and I have this money available on Counter-Strike, and why not take it out? And it's not like you would always lose out on profit. You could just cash out one of your profits and continue on. It doesn't hurt anyone, you know. And if anything, it's not like you're losing it. You're doing something beneficial, something more healthy. So it's definitely, yeah, I would definitely recommend it maybe every 6 months, every couple months. Just kind of see what you need, what you don't need, or perhaps even do different investments. It's good to
Yeah.
always look at different opportunities as well.
Hell, even if you have skins that for some reason, like right now the market's kind of pumping again randomly, if you have investment skins instead of like crafts that you're like wanting to keep, I'd say just take that profit and go put it in the stock market if you want to invest it safely or something, because like that's way more regulated than Counter Strike.
No, you're exactly right. Or buy gold, buy silver, buy everything. Well, not right now, it's super high, but you know, kind of look at different options as well. I think that's a good mindset to have, definitely.
Absolutely. And FOMO is something I just laugh at FOMO all the time. I mean, again, we're talking a lot about the covert update today, but it's kind of big news, and it's been out for a while at this point. But it's just still so shocking to even think that it's real. But when that came out, you just go to Twitter, you go to Counter Strike's tweet, and you just read the replies, and it's just like we see it every single time that they do something quote unquote major to the game. The game's dead. Counter Strike's ruined. The market's dead. Everything's done, and literally in 7 days, nobody's talking about it because it's just a new normal and people adapt to it. So you've seen a lot of crazy things in the CS market over your years of being involved in the community and everything. Um, what are your thoughts on like the FOMO people and just your experiences overall? And for the FOMO holics out there, what type of advice could you give them to kind of use going forward?
You know, I think everyone has FOMO. I think even the people who profited from this COVID update had FOMO because they would always wish, why don't I have more coverts? Or why didn't I do X, Y, and Z? I think Twitter kind of makes a situation or a situation happens, and Twitter grabs it and stretches it out as much as possible.
Yep.
And you know, you kind of need to see it for reality. Okay, there's a great update that helps the market. It helps anyone else. It's a cool update. It's very cool. And instead of kind of saying, okay, why don't I profit from it? You know what? This could be an opportunity, and I could trade up restricted items to covert item. You kind of need to look at it in different solutions rather than just complaining that you weren't there for the initial, you know, market growth. So I think definitely everyone has FOMO, but you have to kind of find a positive solution or look at it from a different eye. When the update happened, instead of, well, I had no covert, so what I did was I looked at different skins, the restricted, the other skins. I was like, oh, would it be possible to buy them and trade them up? Then I looked at how much it would cost and how much time it will take. And I thought ultimately, no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
But so you would have that initial FOMO and then you just get out of it. but definitely for someone else who wants to try it, why not? There's always opportunity. It's just you have to have a different outlook on it.
For sure. And one thing that I think is really important too, you know, like you gotta see the big picture. Like when you're reading sometimes an update in front of you, your first instinct is like, holy shit, what the fuck? But you know, the covert thing, Reds obviously are gonna be skyrocketing, but you gotta be smart in situations like that and think, and it's really hard to do. Like it's not easy at all. But you know, Reds are gonna start skyrocketing. Well, people aren't gonna open cases. Well, people are going to open cases to get Reds. People aren't gonna want to just start buying Reds, you know, for these trade ups because it's just not gonna. For the most part, you're not gonna make much money because you missed the boat. You know what I mean? Especially people
Mm,
in Europe because in NA we get the update at like usually around 7 o'clock at night. So we're still like most people are awake by then, you know? Um, but, you know, the first thing I thought of was like, one of the first things I thought of was like, holy shit, pinks are going to start going up. People are going to start trading up pinks to get the reds and then use the reds to, you know, trade up to the golds. But, you know, in like 45 minutes, the pinks even started going up too. So you got to be
yeah.
so reactive and so quick. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that kind of will drain people out because if you're constantly doing that, that could really drain you out and make you tired, and of course have a lot of FOMO. And you go on Twitter and you post about it, and you have 100 other people saying the same thing. That doesn't make you feel any better. It just makes you keep feeling FOMO.
For sure. And you know, it's no secret that the skins market absolutely drives Counter Strike. It's been recorded at times Valve makes over $100 million a month off of the Steam community market. You know, case opening, armory passes, all that jazz. Market manipulation was absolutely massive in I think it was around September, August, something like that. I mean, it was just crazy. There's like allegedly Chinese groups where you got to pay to get involved to know the insider info, and it's kind of wild. But you know, a lot of the times people think that, you know, the game is going to eventually, some things like this is going to kill the game. And, you know, if the skins market dies, ultimately people think the game will die a lot of the time. I'm kind of curious on your thoughts going forward with Counter Strike in general. You know, do you think that the lifespan of the game and the skins market is kind of dying? Do you think that we're gonna have a long Counter Strike life left? Like, what are your thoughts on that whole thing?
I think as long as the game stays popular, stays active, they have some good updates. Of course, not every update will be good, some bad, but as long as it keeps evolving and perhaps they bring back more game modes or more community, servers or anything in that resort, then yeah, the game itself would have a good life span. In terms of the actual market, I can't predict it. I
Yeah.
definitely think we have a good 5 years. The next 5 years could be nice, normal, you know, but who knows what can happen those next 5 years? Next year there could be 7 day trade ban will be reversed to 3 days. I don't know, but it's one of those things where something will happen. But for the next 5 years, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
After 2030, I have no idea because the people who are trading now will probably think about buying a home or doing other things and other investments, or they don't have as much time, they have a family, so there'll be new traders, new cash buyers. And will there be? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those things. Will the same people be trading? I don't know. So I think it's one of those things where if the market keeps evolving and people keep coming in, that'll, keep it lasting and keep it going. But if people start to go and cash out and leave, and there are different websites for reputations, there's different people, there's more scandals, then of course it won't look good and it won't sustain. So I think for now, for the next 5 years, I think we're okay.
Yeah, I agree. You know, a lot of people like I don't know what age you are or anything. You don't have to say, but a lot of people I find in CS:GO like were teenagers or you know essentially like quote unquote children when they played it. I got in when I was like 15, 16 years old, and you know you think about I'm 26 now, and you think about the people that started playing Counter Strike 2 and all this crazy market shit starts popping off. Think about them in 5 years when maybe they actually have jobs and they can, oh, you know what, I'm gonna spend, you know, $1,000 this month on Counter Strike skins, and maybe those skins go up and they have more money they can start playing with. You know, a lot happens in those 5 years. And it's kind of hard to, like you said, to predict the future. And with all of the trading updates that have happened this year, really just in the last few months, it's kind of hard to predict what the future is going to hold.
Yeah, and it's, you know what, like you said, you started when you were 15, 16. I started very young as well, 14, 15, 16, and back then it was fun, it was enjoyable. You would trade and play, and it was amazing. Now maybe perhaps the game needs more life to it. In my opinion, it needs game modes. I
Yep.
really want Danger Zone to be back. Maybe a brand new game mode. Maybe some community servers where people are doing surfing again, or kind of those mini games. I think map creation now is even bigger than, of course, how it is years ago. So why not bring that back to the game? Why not, make it more for the people, so other people can enjoy it, not just the, people who just want to play Counter-Strike. What if you want to play the game, but just a different game mode of the game?
For sure. And, case opening, this is kind of random, but case opening is obviously a massive part of Counter Strike, and gambling controversy exists and all this stuff. But, the terminal when it came out, it was a pretty big, like, a head scratcher, really. And people are speculating that the case opening whole aspect is going to die, and going forward, in the future is just going to be terminals. So you're lucky enough to hit a red. Well, that's great. Now you can buy it for $2,000. So
Yeah,
what are your whole thoughts on that?
I'll be honest, taking even a look at the terminal right now is as cheap as 50 cents. I think Valve know that, hey, we tried something new. They don't like it, they don't respond to it. Maybe we'll scrap it for next update. Because I think for them what's important is the numbers. It's important that people are buying them, that people are using them, that when they get a red, are they actually buying it or can they afford it? I think a lot of these data matter to Valve, and of course I would love to see the data to everything. How many cases get opened? How many they get dropped on Steam Community Market? Of course, they're not going to make it public, but seeing all this information, you know, I don't think it was a good update. It was a new update. It was exciting, but I don't think it's reliable or sustainable enough. So I don't think they're going to try it. Maybe they'll try a different version on it where you can buy it for 50% cheaper or something like that. I'm not sure, but I don't think they're going to scrap cases. I think cases will still exist. Maybe this was an idea that they kind of played around with.
Okay, okay, I like it. I like it. So that was pretty much the last question I have for you, man. Kind of similar to the last time is if there's anything that you're cooking up that people should know about, or any type of final words at all, have at her. Floor is yours.
Um, no, may CS long live for as long as possible, and that's all I can say.
Alrighty, everybody, and that does it for today's episode. Man, what is there to dislike about Drepz, man? Come on, he's awesome. It was a really good time catching up with Drepz, and I think we'll definitely have him back on in the future. He's an OG trader for sure. He's an OG collector, and to know he still has the Kato collection is fucking awesome. So that was really cool to hear. But that's gonna wrap it up for today, boys. If you like today's podcast, again, like I said in the intro, like the video down below, comment, let me know what you think, subscribe, and yeah, that's gonna be it, man. We'll catch you guys next Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll catch you then. Till next time, y'all.